Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm your host, Barbara Marville Kelly. With me to my left happens to be Jean Hungiville, and I say this every time.
I know.
It seems like just yesterday, and here another month has gone by. Welcome back.
Well, the only time we didn't do that is when you were gone during COVID doing your homeschooling.
Oh,
and
yes.
I got stuck with John the whole time.
Oh, you poor thing.
I
I didn't mean that. It just came out.
That's our producer, for those of you that don't know, and he is listening to all of this.
I know.
It's very funny.
He picks on us, we pick on him, but you always put together a great lineup.
I'm excited about today.
And today, I'm going to turn the show over totally to you for the moment while you introduce our next two guests.
Well, the two guests, one I had the pleasure of meeting this morning, but that Tiffany, Divine Tiffany Revine, I love that name, is with Leashes and Layovers, and she has with her one of her little charges, Itty Bitty, and I am just taken with this little sweetheart.
Oh,
She's a sweetie.
Yes, and look at the collar that you have on. Not Itty Bitty.
Oh,
Tiffany,
me.
you have a lovely collar on.
Thank you, thank you.
When you first came to the chamber and talked about your business, I knew exactly what you were talking about, because one of the things that I had done in my previous chamber was stay with friends who couldn't find somebody to take care of their four-legged friends when they were out of town. We didn't have that kind of business there, so I helped out 4 or 5 different people over the course of about 3 years. And it can get really hectic, because I remember at one summer period, I don't think I was in my own bed for like 6 months, and I woke up in the middle of the night thinking, okay, which way is the bathroom, because I wasn't sure where I was, and Zippy the little poodle was at my feet, so I knew that I was at the Fowler's house, and I could get out of the left-hand side of the bed.
Oh, that's adorable.
But it is an incredible business, and
Yes, it
I am so pleased to have you in the chamber, and tell us about what you do.
Well, I am a full spectrum pet care service. I go into people's homes, take care of their pets. I do dog walking, I do drop-in visits, and then during COVID, I started a new service where instead of people having to go out and get pet supplies, I deliver them to their home.
Oh, great.
A lot of people, are now working from home, so they may be too busy to even go get cat litter, dog food, toys, treats, whatever. So I've started doing that, as well as I do one-on-one pet care. Like if we have a storm or something and someone has a pet that's afraid of fireworks or lightning, I'll just go and hold them like itty bitty and just comfort them.
I love her.
But primarily I do overnight pet sitting and dog walking.
This overnight is huge. We haven't gone anywhere, I can't even say for years, but when we were traveling and all of that, I had to have somebody that would come and stay overnight.
Right.
But it's just, I can't find anyone. We have some dog walkers and they're wonderful in the neighborhood, but for somebody to come and stay overnight, and what convinced me how important this is our neighbor had a big, huge flood in his home. And, people think it's really all that safe to leave their dogs home alone, but if you live in what-if land every now and again, and those things can happen, and it's just that fear fed. They don't want to be there alone, and they do get so freaked out.
Well, they're pack animals.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they need their people.
Exactly. And, when somebody's going away, their dog senses it. They see the suitcases coming out.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
so they
yeah.
get stressed. And then if you take a dog out of their environment, they become even more stressed if you were going to, board them at a boarding facility. So that was one of the primary reasons why I just go to people's homes. I am fully licensed and insured, which, also gives everyone a peace of mind. And then I get to spend time with these little babies.
Oh, you get
that's
to
so
curl
great.
up and
I do.
in your jammies with whoever sweetheart
Exactly,
is there.
exactly.
And you bring this baby with you?
She is actually one of my customers. She was part of a rescue, and then her mom died. And so the husband has hired me to take care of her and her 2 brothers, or brother and sister.
Oh, Oh, so you don't have ownership.
No, she's one of my customers.
Oh, who would have known? I mean,
I
she just is
know.
so in love with her.
See,
How can you
that's-
not be?
That's a perfect example
Yes.
of her bonding with
Right.
her charges.
Exactly.
Yes.
I do have two dogs, 8 fish, and 2 ducks at home that are mine.
Love it.
I know.
Do you live in Tarpon?
I do.
Whereabouts?
I live off of Klosterman and Carlton.
Oh, okay. So
right.
you're not far from Crescent Oaks?
No,
I'll be
not-
calling you.
Exactly.
I will definitely.
Exactly.
And I want you to leave some cards too, so we can pass this along.
Sure.
So how long have you had your business?
I have had it for 3 years now.
3 years, okay.
I moved to Tarpon 3 years ago and just really saw a need for pet care.
Yes.
I mean, it's a working
Yes.
community. People go
Right.
to work. You know, lunchtime, they can't take off to go feed Fido or walk, let their cats out or whatever. So
Right.
I really saw a need, and I was volunteering at a local shelter for almost 6 years, and I learned so much about animals just doing that. And then my stepdaughter's an animal behavioralist in Canada. She's like the
Oh, how
equivalent of
wonderful.
Cesar Millan.
Oh my!
So I've learned so much from her, and then just my mom had passed away, and I really was lost, and I just didn't know what to do. So by volunteering, like I said, I learned a lot, and then I said, you know what? I'm opening up a pet care business, and
Good
I
for
did.
you.
And it started out kind of like a hobby for me, and then I just like with people in my neighborhood, and then I just said, you know what? I'm diving in.
Well,
Good for you. I'm glad you did it, especially in Tarpon.
I know, and the thing is, it's not just dogs; it's cats, and if somebody has an iguana or
No. I do dogs, cats, birds, bunnies, and I do have some tortoises I take care of, but I don't do rats or turtles. I mean, rats or snakes, like
Yes,
or
that would be
iguanas.
I don't think I
That would
would
be-
either.
But
But
I
there's a
have to draw the
special-
line.
Special niche there. I'm sure
Right.
there's those people that are out there. Well, the other thing too, even if it isn't, if you're going to travel, but we were at a surprise party just last weekend, and I was concerned because we had to drive it was a good hour.
Okay.
And we left early in order to get home for the girls.
Right.
Because we are their caregivers, and you never know what can happen.
You don't.
You don't ever, and God forbid if something happens, you're not there and you can't get there fast enough, and nobody's there
Right.
to tell you what's happening.
Right.
So to have you come and sit for an hour and say, "Hey, we're on our way," and
Right.
they've got somebody in the house, and it's not just anybody. You can feel your love.
Oh, thank
for
you.
animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is so really wonderful.
Well, one of the things that I don't think people think about too is cats. They think, oh, I'm going to
Right.
be gone for a weekend. The cats can take care of themselves.
know.
And they really do need to have that care as well. Cats seem to be independent, but who are the first ones to snuggle up?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
And they think, oh well, they have a litter box. Well, most people that you know of, you can go into their house and not know that they have a cat because their litter box is clean. So that's something else that's important. Is
yeah.
you want to maintain
Yeah,
the
The cleanliness.
the cleanliness of your home.
that's right.
Yes.
That's another
and
really
cats
good
are
point.
clean animals.
Right.
And so, I mean, I think I wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
Right,
Because
right.
they're part of the family as well. Even though they tend to be solitary, again, they're the first ones to cuddle up.
Oh boy, I'll
Right.
tell you,
So-
our daughter-in-law was traveling the other day, and she was calling. We have a brand new great granddaughter, and she was on the way to the hospital, and the cat. I could hear the cat. She had 3 cats in the car, and I know they were probably swarming her neck or whatever, and they were going crazy because they probably didn't want to be in that car.
Oh, no.
Right.
But
Right.
she took them with them because she knew that she had a place to put them rather than leave them home.
Right.
And so it was, that's all I heard. It sounded like babies in the background there, those
Yeah.
3 cats.
Yes.
But it's so good to know that you have somebody that you can trust. Now, I know we're winding down here, but did you join the chamber right away?
It was probably about maybe 8 months in.
I remember that day, too.
Yeah.
She came in asking, what do you do? And we talked about it. And when you told me what you were doing, I immediately said, oh, I know exactly what this is, because I had it as sort of a hobby.
You knew you had a winner here.
Oh, no question. What is probably the most challenging stayover pet
Good question.
That you've had in the course, or the biggest surprise?
I would have to say the air conditioning going out.
Oh.
It was in the middle of summer. There were 3 dogs, 3 cats, and a bunny. And they were all in the house, and the air went out, and the customers were doing a tour or something for their daughter's college or something like that.
Okay.
And I'm like, what am I going to do with all these animals? And one of them did suffer from seizures. So I was like, what am I going to do? So fortunately, I was able to get in touch with another relative, and they were able to take the dogs over to their house while I was gone. So, I mean, the cats were pretty easy, in and out kind of cats, and the bunny was just hilarious.
Oh, yes.
So
But that's the kind of thing people don't think about.
Yeah.
Broken water pipe, air conditioning going out, what happens to the animals. And, we don't have cold weather here where people have to worry about snow and broken pipes, but still, there's enough emergencies that can happen that you have an extra set of eyes and someone in your house. And picking up the mail.
right.
Rather than having it collected at the post office.
Exactly. A lot of people don't realize, it's not just pet care, it's house sitting. You have
is.
to, you're picking up the mail, cleaning, this and that. I also had a situation where I was taking care of a Great Dane, and the Great Dane got sick and wouldn't fit in my car because I had a Mini Cooper. Try fitting a 268-pound Great Dane in a Mini Cooper.
Now, that would be a challenge.
So fortunately, the owners had their car there, and I was able to take their car to the vet.
Oh, dear. Oh, my
I mean,
goodness.
it's like a clown car with a Great Dane.
Well, you have to be a star member with Tarpon Chamber.
Oh, my gosh.
You have to be.
She is. You should see her when she comes to one of our networking events and starts talking, and people get very animated because everybody can relate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. I'm thrilled just from a personal level, but there's a lot of dogs and dog lovers in our community, and if one goes missing, I am telling you, our whole community is out everywhere
Exactly.
looking for that dog. And like I say, we don't have anybody that we know of that will stay with the pets. So I will definitely get your cards
Thank
and pass
you.
it along.
High-risk pets that need diabetic
course.
shots.
Of course.
Need extra things. It probably is a lot more traumatic for them to have to be boarded at the vet. And most
Right.
people think that with something like that, they have to go to the vet to be able to be taken care of properly. And having them in the comfort of their home, and I'm assuming that you're able to take care of all of that kind of thing.
I am. And a lot of people, they may check like other websites and stuff like that where, it may be a younger teenager or something that doesn't have that kind of experience. I personally have had a dog that had seizures.
When you
and,
said that, I was thinking about that.
I had to administer medication, and that's one thing that a lot of people look for is someone they can trust to make sure that they're getting the right dosage and everything like that so that the dog or cat doesn't go into a seizure or any diabetic issues and stuff like that. So I am able to do that.
That's
and when
fantastic.
Thank you
because
so much. Hey, listen, you need to be calling this lovely lady, Tiffany, because I know you're going to be pleased. I certainly am.
I know.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
And
I'm
thank
so
you, itty bitty baby. Bye,
excited.
itty bitty. We'll be right back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, your host, and with me is Jean Hungiville with Tarpon Springs Chamber of Commerce. We've got so much going on down there in Tarpon.
I know. And one of the things that somebody said to me the other day, and I'm going to use as one of our new taglines, is Tarpon is becoming a foodie destination.
You know what? You're right.
And we have gotten not just Greek food, which is down on the docks. We now have an entire variety in the downtown area. And one of my favorite restaurants, and I'm going to get in trouble. I know I'm going to get in trouble. I have red hair. I get in trouble all the time. One of my favorite restaurants is New Orleans Creole, which is very different from Cajun. I was married to a Louisianan, so I learned the difference. And when I found out Doug was going in with his new restaurant, I'm banging on the kitchen door in the back. Anyway, this is Doug Clark from Ours.
Hi, Doug. Hello. It's so great to have you with us today. I can't wait to hear because I'm like 10 minutes from you. I live in Tarpon Springs myself. So I am becoming a foodie. The more it's enticing. When did you open the business?
Last October 4th. So we've been open for a little over a year now. We just had our 1-year anniversary.
And we did his ribbon cutting in October of last year. And he said, okay, and I'll join the chamber tonight. And 2 weeks later, I'm going, Doug, I'm banging on the back door. It took him, he was so busy from the start that he didn't even get time finally at midnight one night. He's sitting in front of the computer to join the chamber, but it was about 6 weeks after you opened.
Yeah.
Because I was nagging him, and I knew he'd do it. He'd get home and fall asleep. And then he had a new baby on the way.
My goodness, all this and opening up a new business. Hey, thank God that everything's going well for you,
It's going good. That was the funny thing is that, the due date, we were always making a joke. This was months before, the grand opening. And I was like, when are they going to open? I said, when the baby's born. And it just kind of fell right around the same time.
Oh, my goodness.
Let me tell you how dedicated he is to this.
I can tell already. I can tell already.
When I was talking with him about what we were going to be doing and something, and I can't remember what it was, maybe probably nagging you about joining the chamber or something, and he had said something about, I have this baby due or whatever. Anyway, he wasn't there that day, and the cement truck was going to show up to pour, was it the driveway or the...
We were pouring the ramp and some pillars.
And what else interfered that morning?
The baby showed up.
You know what he said to
Boy or girl?
It's a girl, little girl.
And what did you say to your wife?
I said, we got to get this baby, and then I got to go take care of business.
No, he did. He said to her, hold on, I've got to go get this done, and then we'll go.
Hold on. You did not say that to your wife.
I went.
And was she able to?
Yeah, so it actually happened really fast.
I told him what for.
It happened really fast. It was 4 a.m. We were able to get it done, and baby was very healthy. Roxana.
Oh.
So,
is that your first?
No, sorry, we have 3 kids.
Oh, very good.
9, 3, and 1.
Oh, so you got a little experience with that.
Yes, but that was my introduction to him and his dedication. So, speaking of healthy, talk about the food that you have there.
I want to hear about this. You must have a niche over there if you're that busy.
We were very busy. I spent some time in New Orleans. I worked for my mom. She was a chef, so I grew up cooking. Our menu changes every couple days, so it just depends on what we have. So we come in the morning, 7:30, and the guys and I, we prep everything that day, and we serve it that day. So small menu, but a lot of fresh ingredients. We're a 100% scratch kitchen. We just got some jumbo soft shells in the other day. We're just doing soft shell crab etouffee. We do offer some family meals.
Really?
Yeah.
I come from Eastern Shore, Virginia, so therefore soft shells are king.
Yeah, there were some jumbos. They were nice. They were nice. So all desserts are made in house. A lot of the recipes come from my mom. The desserts anyway. So bread pudding. We do have the best bread pudding in Tarpon Springs.
I've heard that.
So
Where's your mom?
she passed last December.
Oh, I'm sorry
So,
to
but she
hear
was
that.
living down here with us.
Oh, she was. So she was in the restaurant business. It was a fan. So it's family past. That's
Yeah. So when I
wonderful.
left New Orleans, I went back to Michigan and helped her when she was diagnosed with cancer. And then once she was in remission for a while, then I went down to Sanibel, and then made my way back up this way.
So she got to see the restaurant launch.
She got to see the restaurant launch.
Oh, That's great.
So-
That's
Talk
great.
about some of these creative dishes that
Yes,
I
I
see.
wanna hear
I
them.
have to keep up with him because as it's changing every
Yeah,
3 or
every
4
couple of days.
But trying to get ahead of you in the menu that comes out to put it out on Facebook
So-
to support a chamber member.
Here we go.
Tell
I
us.
love it.
So that's I will admit I got to get a little bit better at that, but I will say I have an idea what I want to do in the morning. But again, some of the stuff that shows up, it might not be what we want, or it doesn't show up. So some of the stuff, like the blue Hubbard squash, some of the stuff is seasonal. So I do change my mind in the afternoon. So I try to get around 2 o'clock in the afternoon is when I will post the menu, and it goes right to our website. So when I type it up, so.
I love that
the menu-
because you're very unscripted. I love that.
But it's whatever is available.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so it
so-
tells you it's super duper fresh.
Correct.
On the
So,
spot,
on the
in
spot.
and of the moment.
Yeah, that's it. We do dollar oysters on Mondays, $15 full racks on Thursdays, and then we do 75-cent smoked drummies on Tuesdays. So Monday oysters, Tuesdays drummies, Thursdays ribs.
I'm glad to know about the dollar oysters on Monday because having come from the Eastern Shore, you could hand me an oyster, I could tell you which quadrant of the Eastern Shore it came from. But not having to shuck them, and they're only $1 a piece,
Yeah, dollar oysters on Monday.
that's really, okay,
Wow.
I'm there.
They're
Monday-
Gulf oysters too. We get them all from Louisiana side right now mostly. So it's been kind of rough, but the guy that we get them from has been pretty good to us. So we go through about 500 oysters on a Monday.
I can imagine. Who shucks those suckers?
All of us do.
I mean, yes, I have a couple of scars.
And we
from
got some
shucking
bruises.
them.
We got some bruises.
But
So
having grown up in South Carolina, that was one of the things that you had to learn how to do and learn how to crab. So
Yeah.
it was pretty good. Do you so on the menu today? Do you know what you're going to be serving?
well, we're closed on Wednesdays. Tomorrow we do the $15 ribs, and I got some beautiful Florida, some triple tail in, and then we got the soft shells, and then I actually smoked some brisket. I actually put that in tonight and have it ready for tomorrow. We
My
do cut
stomach
our
just
own.
growled.
We cut our
I
own.
know,
We
I
hand
know.
cut our steaks. We have a great company that we get our steaks from, and we'll cut them there in the restaurant. New York Strips Prime. So I mean, there's something for everybody. Vegetarians, we don't really promote a lot of vegetarian items, but we have so many awesome vegetables and fruits. Mainly, we pickle beets, pickled zucchini, baby zucchini. So we kind of just come up with it on the spot. We'll go out and talk to the table and say, hey, we'll take care of it. Just tell me what
See,
you like.
I love that. That's really personal attention. That's dining.
Yeah.
I love that.
And as we've said multiple times, restaurant business is not for the faint of heart, but be able to pivot when you see what you have delivered and come up with something that's creative and knowing what to do without even hesitating, just going, oh, yeah, okay, well, we'll adjust for this.
That is my kind of restaurant. When my husband and I go out, when we do go out, it's like he's like this because I'm going, can I have this? And could you make it? It's just the way it is. Are you like that? Or are you pretty?
Well, what was the Easter? I came back in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah, the shrimp and grits.
Did you go back and tell him what to do?
I was
Yeah,
back.
did. She did,
No,
didn't she?
I actually didn't. He was standing back there talking, relaxing. We were finished, and the brunch on Easter was fantastic. And I was there with my good friend and his daughter, and I came back through from the ladies' room, and I saw him standing there, and I slightly pushed open the kitchen door because I thought, I know I'm not supposed to be back here. I had my mask on, and I looked out and I said, "You are the only person who can make shrimp and grits better than I can."
Oh, wow. How about
Scooted out of
that?
there. And I heard later, because the Jazz Fools were playing, and
Yeah.
the bass viol is my chairman of my board, Steve, and he said, Doug came out and said, "Was that Gene that just came back in the kitchen?" And I had scooted out the door.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, having been married to a Louisianan for 22 years, and also growing up in South Carolina, I'm, all the southern foods, but I learned from his mama how to make shrimp and grits and etouffee, and I will tell you, I thought I was pretty good, but That's
good.
I had to say it, that I couldn't stand there and listen to the feedback.
I just love this because it's just this is a real down home feel, and that's how Tarpon Springs is. And I just, I didn't realize what we had until you came on board with the chamber, because we've been living in Tarpon Springs now for going on 23 years.
Oh, wow.
And it's just really awesome to have somebody like yourself to have a business and successful, but it just such a twist,
niche.
It is niche. It's a niche,
and that's a risk.
It was a risk. There was a lot of people who were like, "Oh, Tarpon Springs," and I said, "You know what?" I go, "It's just like pretty much like any other city. If it's good food and you have good service, they're gonna come back."
You do
That's
something
right.
every month.
That's right.
The first Sunday.
First Sunday, yep, which is this Sunday too. We have the Jazz Fools. They'll be there. We do a Sunday brunch, a little jazz brunch. So the menu changes on that as well. It'll be different from last one. So it's just kind of what we feel like we want to put on the menu.
Reservations?
Reservations are encouraged.
Isn't that
Reservations are
unique?
encouraged on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, to be honest with you.
That is very unique because most places don't take reservations. And if you have a reservation, I feel a lot more comfortable coming knowing, okay, I'm going to have a table outside or I'm going to have a table inside in a corner. But when you do this brunch, people are spread out very comfortably.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Outside, the Jazz Fools play. I mean, it's New Orleans jazz. It's not too loud. It's on the porch. And it's
All the tables are, luckily for us when we built the place and all the tables just happened to fall into that, that degree that where you're supposed to have them sit, and we have the tall booths inside. So, I mean, we follow the guidelines. Everything's, we do everything we're supposed to do and probably a little bit more.
You
but-
have a beautiful bar inside, too.
Yes.
That's-
Nice little quaint little bar. And we have a pocket door that we created, goes inside, outside.
There's one long bar that comes and curves around to the outside. There's
There's the gas pole. So that'll be on the brunch menu right there. If you see that, it's octopus hash. So we brine it, cure it, and then kind of smoke it, and then we serve it with homemade potato hash with a chipotle smoked barbecue sauce.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, and
Fire
that's
pit.
outside seating is just, it's absolutely beautiful. Look at that fire and water.
Oh, wow. What is the time of your brunch?
11 to 2.
11 to 2. Okay.
11 to 2, and then the Jazz Fools will be back next first Friday, even though first Fridays are still on the hold, but we still have those guys on Friday. And then we also just set up T-Bone and the All-Stars, the blues band. They play every first Saturday, and then they'll be there on Thursday the 19th as well.
What hours for dinner?
Weekdays 5 to 9:30, and weekends we open at 4.
Okay, but not for lunch.
No
But
lunch.
It takes all day to prep these
Takes all
fabulous
day to
meals.
prep, and some days you get there and you're like, are we gonna get it open? But we pull through.
Well, I'm going to throw a little something in here, and we're almost finished with time, but John and crew did a live of your restaurant when they did something in Tarpon when you were first opening. And the first thing John said when he came in is, where's the food? Because he was, and after that little thing that they did with you, he called me as he was driving back here to the studio and said, why didn't you tell me about this place? That is just fantastic.
And he's been in once after that as well. So yeah, they ate all the full rack ribs. So we'll go through about 50 of those on a Thursday.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's great.
Oh,
John's eaten there 4 times.
is what he's saying in our
I
ear.
can see, I can
And
see
I
you
can
with
hear
that.
him drooling on the microphone. So
Oh, thank you so
wonderful.
much for joining
thanks
us.
for having me. It's been great. It
All
was
right.
fun.
Oh, I'm already hungry. Thanks for being with us. We'll be right back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and today we are featuring the Tarpon Springs Chamber of Commerce. Jean Hungiville is with us. I wish we could do this every day because we have so much fun.
Well, at least every week.
We could do it every week or every day because there's so much going on in Tarpon.
Yes.
And you were saying that it's becoming the foodie of the community. The food. What was
It's becoming a foodie destination.
It is.
With the variety of
and new
things.
restaurants opening up in there. It's so great. But you know, the one thing really super duper great about this whole picture is you now can actually go for a walking tour of Tarpon because our girlfriend / icon of the Greek community is Krisula Gause with
Hello.
Krisula's Tours.
Yes.
Are you so excited about this?
Oh my gosh. So,
Yes.
yes, so excited. I have my first tour is coming up, my walking tour, and then the following one is going to be in November 19th, everyone.
Perfect.
So, and if they come onto my website, krisula.com, they can find out when the next ones are coming up and go by the chamber because
Yes.
the chamber always knows anytime I have a walk for a foodie or a regular walk, and they're amazing. They've been helping me, and I got to tell you, Jean, thank you very much from my heart.
We have gotten to know each other very well through all of this.
Yes.
And was it about a year and a half ago when you started your tour company
Yeah.
and have watched it grown, and she has listened to all of the feedback that people have given her, and it has been just marvelous watching it start out with you being nervous and having we had a business after hours or
Yes.
a happy hour, and everybody came by and had a glass of wine, and then she did a small sample tour downtown. She was scared to death.
I was.
And it was so,
You of
she
all
was so
people.
nervous. And it was, and people gave you feedback
Yes.
afterwards.
Yes, it was very good.
Which was really, really very helpful. And then, she, pops in and out, listens to ideas. And now here we are a year later, and she comes bouncing into the chair. I have an idea. And we have to sometimes go,
Calm down.
Priscilla, stay focused. We can't do this and this and this, but we can do this.
Oh yeah, watch me. Right, Krisula?
But what's great is this newest one, and we had a sample of it last week, which I just thought was terrific, is a foodie tour.
Yes.
And it's 5 restaurants.
Yeah.
And just talk about this and how you got the idea and what we did. It was so fun.
So it's a food tour, and what we're going to do is we have amazing restaurants in Tarpon Springs. So we pick 5 restaurants, and actually it's 4 restaurants and 1 store. Okay, and we do a half an hour slots in each one, and there's different types of food and drink, and just it's an amazing thing. If you have a birthday, let me know. We customize. We'll throw a birthday bash at the same time, but it's awesome because we get to taste all the different places, right? And we get to walk into different stores that maybe we hadn't.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful because the chamber, if it wasn't for them, thank you for
Calming you down?
yeah, and spreading the word and being right there, because as a new tour guide here in Tarpon Springs, I love the different feedback because that's what I need, right? And I know that the people around me are like, okay, Krisula, I want you to succeed, so this is what's going on, or anyway, so that's what we do on our walks, and I just did a whole poop.
I think that's great because it's a way to introduce people to Tarpon and all the amazing restaurants that are there, and a little taste testing.
And
I think
every
it's
month
great.
just have 5, so it's not overwhelming. It's not like you hit everything.
Right.
But you're able to talk. And then she does a conversation about some history trivia and
Oh,
some
yeah.
history of Tarpon, which is things that people just are like, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Not just the general, this is what everybody knows.
Right.
And as a Tarpon native, she can dig and find all kinds of goodies.
Thank Thank you.
And not only that, I have to make mention of St. Michael's
Oh,
because
yes.
I always love the story. I've been to St. Michael's. You and I went.
Yes.
We needed some massive prayers for people, and still do. Tell us the story about this because this will warm your heart. When I say Krisula
goodness.
Gause is an icon,
Oh, you're
her
so
and her
funny.
husband Robbie Gause from Gause Boats, who started the business. Both of these two are an amazing couple. But let's talk about your grandmother. And
Oh, my
how did
goodness.
all this happen?
Oh, my beautiful grandmother. Okay, so my uncle Steve, this is a real quick synopsis, went to the doctors, all children's in Tampa, and found out that he had a brain tumor. So he went home, and my grandmother was beside herself. And prior to that, she had gone to Greece, and she brought back an icon that was from one of the little churches. But it was given to her because every morning it was back at its place, right? So the person said, why don't you, Tia Maria, take the icon with you? So long story short, after my uncle found out he had the brain tumor, he kept asking for that icon, and he'd hold on to it and hold on to it. Long story short, St. Michael came to Yaya's dream, my grandmother's, and said, if you build me a shrine, I'm going to help your son. And my grandmother goes to my grandfather, do you mind? Should I do this? He goes, whatever you need to do. So she started. So the next time he went for his x-ray before the operation, guess what? It was gone. So,
Wow.
yes, that is, and he lived to be in his 70s.
And
How about that?
And the shrine that she built is St. Michael's
Correct.
Shrine,
Yes.
which is on Hope Street.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
I know.
But the story behind that, you ready?
Yeah.
So this is a little history. So Hope Street is named because of the Colonel, Samuel Hope, that lived down that street. And it was neat how it ended up the same road where we have St. Michael's. Isn't that amazing?
It was
I
just,
did
it was just
not
meant
know
to.
that.
How did you
Really?
But it's one of those things where going to St. Michael's Shrine
Yeah.
is one of those very peaceful, not to be missed moments.
That's right.
It's I've gone in there just to spend maybe 15 minutes before I have, I need to sort something out, or just because the whole place just brings peace to you.
As soon as you walk in there.
And I understand that our mayor goes there often before a city council meeting, city commission meeting, and just to get his thoughts in order, and it's that special because he lives just around the street from it. So,
Yeah.
And it's been there for how long?
Thank you. Oh my goodness. So my dad, I don't know, around, gosh, should I say around 70 years, 75 years? Because my dad was born in 26. My uncle's probably in a few years after that. And then he was pretty
Okay.
young. So he was around 10, 13.
So this is one of the historical places
Yes.
in Tarpon. And
Oh,
I
yes.
just couldn't let the segment go without mentioning it. And of course, your husband, Robbie Gause,
Yes.
started the boat business.
Yes, he started Gause Built Boats, and he's fourth generation here. And we actually got married in St. Michael's.
Oh, did you?
Oh, that's great.
Oh, I
And-
love
and-
that.
One of the things that I love is the fact that he has his business and he encourages you to go and do this. And it is such a unique niche in Tarpon. We've had people come and go with tours, but you are really digging in and making it your own. And
Thank
that's
you.
the thing that I love, is the
Thank
fact that
you. You ladies-
have the personal history of having grown up here. You've lived a number of places in the world, but also the fact that you can speak to the history authentically.
Authentically,
And then
you bet.
then talk about, okay, and here's where we are now. This is, and the places that, the 5 restaurants, give an example of the 5 restaurants that we just did.
Okay, so let's.
We started at the distillery.
The distillery, then Katerina's. It's another restaurant right beside there. Mr. Souvlaki's, the Bahamian little store, because I wanted to have something a little different, and then the Morgan's Oyster Bar.
Morgan Mays.
Morgan
yes.
Mays, correct. Oyster Bar. So I try to pick, like I said, 4 restaurants and one place to go, and to just change it. So next month we're going to do it somewhere else, and it's just a nice introduction to the different foods and things that we
That's right.
have.
It's a nice variety, and I love the whole idea of introduction, and to the point that you were making about her being growing up here and having the history really literally in her blood. You have, I think, a deeper passion than someone even like myself to go in there and do a tour guide. I mean, could I do it? I don't know, but it's not the
Well,
same.
We've had a couple of other
It's
people
not the
try,
same.
but they don't. They will just fudge with the facts, and they
Yeah,
don't do
yeah.
the depth of interest. And so when
The
people
real
start-
story.
and people can ask questions, and they get the
Oh,
authentic
absolutely.
answers. But what was neat is we stopped at the distillery, and everybody met there, and then we had a little bit of that, and then everything was, let's walk just a few hundred steps over here,
Yeah.
and then we crossed the street to Mr. Souvlaki, and then we left there after half an hour on that side of the street, walked up to just another
yeah.
few hundred, what was it, like 100 steps
Right,
to
right.
the Bohemian Gypsy, and
Yeah.
then another 200 steps to Morgan Mays.
Morgan Mays. And it's all, I'm trying to keep, every time we do a walk, I'm trying to keep it close, because
Yeah.
not only all the places that we go, you don't have to worry. You can go in a wheelchair. You can, you're good. You're not going to be walking 5 miles, So I want to keep things to where they're close.
Yes.
We can enjoy ourselves, and we're all safe, and, and that's it.
I love that too, keeping it nice and tight like that.
Well, I have a little bit of a thing to tell that
Yeah.
I'm gonna just next month.
Okay.
Ours, who was just here, I heard Doug agree that he would be on her tour next month.
Yay.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
I'm watching her at work, and I'm paying attention. So, in November.
Yeah,
and
19th.
what is that? That's only in a couple of weeks,
Yeah,
too.
3
Gosh,
weeks.
isn't that the
It'll
truth?
be a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
and so ours will be one of them. So stay tuned to see what's going to be around in that area, because I've got a couple of other ideas that we can talk about. So we'll put this together.
I
And
can't
what's
wait.
neat is it's also helps the chamber showcase what we do and exposure for the businesses, because not everybody on those little routes are chamber members.
Right.
Though Morgan Mays is our newest chamber member.
There you go.
Yes,
See?
but ours, being a chamber member, is going to be one. Maybe Silver King will probably be part of that as well. 'cause they're
Right,
around the
right.
corner.
Yeah.
And I know that he's always wonderful to do that too.
And that's a
so
cool
we're
place.
I tell
gonna
ya.
start putting some of that together.
I'm
And
just amazed at what you guys do over there at the
It's a
chamber.
team
It
effort.
makes
Yeah.
it just so interesting. Walking tours. Here you
Ah,
go.
there
Here's
you go.
Krisula.
Thank
in front of the historical.
And I remember when you first mentioned that you were going to be doing this, and I'm going, oh my gosh, it's perfect. And little do you realize, Krisula's resume goes way back. I mean, you've got tons of experience in the food industry.
Yes.
And that's a whole story in itself. We need to get a book done called Krisula.
Oh, please. Oh, my gosh. Just tell me something to write, and I'm going to go like this. Ah.
No, she's got so much on her plate right
know,
now
right?
that we have trouble keeping her.
Keeping her right,
Anyway.
keeping her landed.
This is
Well,
been
thank you so much, my
fabulous.
dear.
I can't wait for the one in a couple of weeks, because
Yes.
we had so much fun last week.
That's right.
Awesome.
And
Thank
check
you.
the Tarpon Springs Chamber of Commerce, too. To
Absolutely.
see what the schedule is, because they're going to be ongoing, and you can find
You
out
can
what
give us
they
a
are,
call.
the cost,
Yeah,
and all that.
yeah.
Thank you, love.
Thank you. Thank
We'll
you.
see you right back after this. Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. This is our last segment for Tarpon Springs Chamber of Commerce. I'm so excited. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly. With me is Jean Hungiville. And we've just been talking about the great businesses and how people are moving forward. And in this last segment, we're talking about different things that are coming up for the holiday.
I
So
know.
yay!
Yes, I mean, the energy that was created in the last hour was so much fun. And so
Yes.
it's kind of nice to be able to say, okay, now going forward. But this is a sample of what's going on in Tarpon. All of this is new stuff.
New stuff.
Leashes and layovers so people can think about with the holidays. What am I going to do with my pets? Now you've got some ideas. If you didn't get the phone number, please give me a call at 727-937-6109. We can give you the phone number of any of these. And if you've seen something on a previous segment, give me a call and we can fill you in on how to get in touch with them. But the dogs and the cats and the bunnies and all of that with Leashes and Layovers, Tiffany's you saw that
I
wasn't her
know.
dog. That was one of her
It was a customer's.
client.
It was a customer's dog.
Yeah.
Well, what's really nice about that too, because I live in Tarpon Springs, and from a personal level, I think it's great to be able to have someone that would be willing to actually come and stay with your pet overnight if need be.
Take care of your house. To pick up your mail.
Absolutely. And then we moved along to ours Creole Smokehouse with Doug, and I mean, I'm just
yum.
salivating after that.
Well, he's now got me on Monday nights with dollar oysters.
There
I mean,
you
having
go.
come from the Eastern Shore of Virginia, as I was telling him, and he laughs at me all the time. I'm not used to paying for oysters, and when I would get them at Christmas time, and I would need 100 of them, I could go to Cherry Stone Clams and Oysters and get them for the employee price, which was 50 cents a piece.
Oh my goodness! So this is really a good deal.
$1 a piece for oysters is an
Yeah.
incredible deal.
Yeah.
And sit there and have a dozen oysters and a glass of Chardonnay, and I mean, what a
Yum.
nice.
Stop, I'm getting
Yes, I
hungry.
know. So, and then what'll probably end up happening, you'll smell whatever he's cooking and say, okay, I got to have something else too. And then Krisula's
Oh,
boundless
gosh.
energy. Oh my gosh! Last week we had so much fun. I'm sorry you weren't there, but I will tell you, you've got to be on. Is it the 18th? She said it was coming up. The 19th. The 19th. It's the next Thursday tour in a couple of weeks, and that is going to be great because ours is going to be on that.
I know, that is very, very exciting. Well, I think any of the tours are going to be exciting because this is a first for her. And with Krisula actually being part of Tarpon, she's lived there, she's grown up there. And I love the history of her talking about St. Michael's shrine over there. That I mean,
'cause
that's
it's so
a whole,
personal.
So personal. I've been there, you've been there, and it's just a lovely place. So Tarpon is a great place to
Yes.
live, to entertain yourself, and if you're not a business owner, you need to call Jean. Oh, look here, look.
Oh, that's the cathedral.
Oh, my.
That's St. Nicholas
Yes,
Cathedral. This is all from our
yes.
website. This is when the sponges come in. And they are, and then you have National Bakery and Elas who have this, and there's the outside, the Epiphany celebration coming up on the 6th.
I love
when
that.
the boys dive in right there.
Yes.
That's where they dive in.
Yes, I love that so much. And there really is so much going on. Now let's talk about, before we run out of time, on what's happening as far as holiday.
Well, we've
And
had
then
some-
that Valentine's month.
Oh, yes. Well, the holidays, and I have been in discussion with Mark LaCourse, our city manager, about what are we doing? How do we make this holiday season? He's been talking with his recreation department and the different people that put together the celebrations. As everyone knows, they have canceled the first Friday in December, which is no place like Tarpon. And part of that had to do with the fact that it had to start planning back in July, and we were in the height of COVID season, and no one knew what was coming. So, of course, that was canceled. But the city is going to be looking at doing a lot of new celebrations, some things that are much lower key, safe for the community. Yesterday, we made the decision to cancel the December 12th Christmas parade. It's a city parade, but the chamber puts that on every year. I spent a couple of weeks talking to the Tarpon Springs High School band and the principal there, also to several of our young girls groups, young kids groups, the Tarpon Springs choir chorus, just to see how do we do this. The Jeep groups, we had 88 Jeeps last year. That was one unit.
Wow.
So the parade takes a little over an hour, and it was one of those things, how do you line people up and keep everybody safe.
Sure.
Mandatory masks, not everybody's comfortable with that outside, particularly the children. And one of the things I hadn't thought about was the dance groups are going to be exercising in the street and looking at, okay, they would have masks on beforehand, but then not after. It got to be so complicated that we really didn't want to have to be policing
Yeah.
everything and taking the joy out of this holiday
That's
parade.
understandable.
So we have made the decision to go ahead and cancel it. So on the Friday before that, I will be putting on Facebook the virtual parade from last year.
Oh, that's nice.
So I have about 60 photographs that I took from the parade last year of the lineup and people being crazy and having fun, and those will be all over Facebook on the Friday before the parade. So that'll be on December 11th. So everybody stay tuned and watch for that.
That's going to be nice.
I was looking through all of the pictures and I thought, yes, we can do this, because I put the announcement out to all the parade participants last night with Santa's picture on there, and that's when I got the idea that that's one of the things we need to do, is have a series of photos, a virtual parade so that'll be fun to do. But the city is going to be, or is looking at doing some sort of a possible walking tour. I don't know any of the details, but they're examining maybe using Craig Park because social distancing is easy to do there, or easier to do there. Doing a really beautiful Christmas tree on a location. There's going to be different decorations in town. I don't know any of the specifics because they're still under discussion.
Sure.
And as we're getting closer in the month of November, then people will start seeing announcements. We will be putting them out as the city is able to pull all of these together. And I've got just a little bit of information, but nothing that I can share specifically, because there's what if this happens, and then there's a whole domino effect.
Oh,
So-
I understand. But you know what, Jean, to your credit, I just love you for what you do for the chamber. You're always wheeling and dealing and finding
Figuring
a
out
way
how to
to
make it
make
work.
whatever it takes works.
Well, I
love
love,
it.
I love what I do.
I know you do.
And I love Tarpon. And so it's you go from the heart.
Yes, you
and,
do.
You know, our focus is businesses, and businesses are made up of the people of
Sure.
Tarpon, and they're there for the people of Tarpon. Tourism is our big business there, and that's what I'm always thinking. How can we get more people to town? The chamber doesn't do most of the events, and a lot of people don't quite understand that. Our Merchants Association does the wine walk and the First Fridays and all of those events that are down at the docks that are the hippie fest and the seafood festival. That's what the merchants do, is they put together those vendors and put those together. The businesses that we work with are the businesses that are on the streets, and it's not just the brick and mortar downtown, it's also the service industry, the people who put on roofs, the people who do air conditioning, the people who do solar.
Sure.
Also the financial industry, the banks and the mortgage people and the financial advisors. Those are all people who are members of the chamber. So, and the hospital is one of our primary big business members, and we look at how do we make the chamber be able to embrace all of this. And it's not doing festival, it's doing what helps businesses. And that's why in the last few months I spent time working on how do I get the information out for all of these different programs, the federal, state, county, and city loans and grants that were out. So we
Oh
were
gosh,
able
I
to do
remember
that.
us doing the
Yes.
shows on that. I tell you, if you happen to be a business owner watching the show here today and you have not checked into becoming a member of the Chamber of Commerce, you're really missing out, because it's wonderful to be able to tap into what's really happening in Tarpon Springs. I've lived there for almost 23 years. I love it, adore it. But even I didn't know how engaging the chamber is since Jean came on board, which was, has it been 3 years?
It was 3.5 years. Can you believe that?
I
know. In the
can't.
last year, the last 6-8 months have been almost non-existent. But we do some things, and this is the
Some
fun part
fabulous
of my job.
things.
Ribbon cuttings.
Yes.
Our next ribbon cutting is coming up. It actually is this evening, and it is at Morgan Mays. They are our newest chamber member. It'll be at 5 o'clock, so I'm going to be leaving here, racing over there at 5:30 and getting that taken care of so that they can become an official chamber member, and we'll all probably stay and have a bite to eat and a drink and all of that good stuff. So that's kind of that's the fun stuff we get to do, the celebration
yeah,
of businesses.
yeah.
We'll have a couple of more this month because there's people that have been new. We have 6 new businesses that have come about since COVID, and we're putting together.
Go figure.
Yes, that are chamber members.
That's
And so
wonderful.
it's JoJo's Italian is going to be another one that we're going to do.
Nice.
And there'll be some other ones. Trophy King, where we get our membership plaques and
Nice.
trophies, has bought a new building, moved in there. The American Legion has bought a new building. That'll be one coming up pretty soon in another probably month when they move into there. It's growing and it's exciting.
It is very exciting to see that because sure, we've had the challenge with COVID, but man, you have been on your toes every single day, just pushing through it all. And here you're doing new ribbon cutting. So people are forward thinking. They're not letting this get them down. You push through it. You have a business, and that is what makes a difference in becoming a member of the Chamber of Commerce here with Tarpon Chamber, is you're not just paying your fees and forgetting about it and hoping somebody comes walking on your door. You will get involved. I promise you that because of this lady here.
Well, I'm a mother. I can nag.
I know. You're a mother, you can nag.
Well,
oh, that's so good.
One of the things that we have started back is our breakfasts, and our third Wednesday of the month is our breakfast, and it's at Johnny Grit's. I'm going to have him on in the next couple of months. He's so darn busy with the holidays coming up. But we came back to that on the third Wednesday of October. I had 22 people for breakfast. He has a side room that we were able to social distance comfortably.
Oh, very good.
And we've turned it into a leads breakfast where people come, get up, talk a little, give a little bit of background on what their business is and anything they've got going on, and then they ask for a specific introduction. For instance, if somebody has an air conditioning business and they want to get to know ABC manufacturing, they get up, talk a little bit about their business and how they want to do it, and say, I would like to meet the person who makes the decisions at ABC Manufacturing. Does anyone know that? And that's how the Leads Breakfast goes. It's based on what BNI does. And I used to be a big proponent of BNI, still am, when I had my business, but it's expensive, and so this is something that the Chamber is stepping forward with. How can we help businesses now that times are tough? Other chambers are doing the same thing as well. So we're looking at forward thinking. Thanksgiving weekend, you usually will see my arts and crafts show on Court Street. We're now not able to do that Thanksgiving weekend, so we're moving it to February. So that's, again, looking at the fact that the Valentine's Day is on that weekend. We're going to do Hearts and Arts. So
Perfect.
So stay tuned because we're doing all kinds of new changes.
We are doing a lot of changes, and thank you for joining us for My Chamber TV. We'll see you next time. Thanks for being with us. Bye now.